Peace and welcome to the Genius of Hip Hop, where knowledge reigns supreme. Today we're talking about the song Rings by the one and only Aesop Rock. Now back in 2014, Matt Daniels started a project analyzing the vocabulary of rappers. When all was said and done, Aesop Rock stood way above the competition. Now even today, he's still #1 with only Bus Driver giving him a run for his money. Now, Aesop's prolific vocabulary is one of the reasons he's beloved in the hip-hop community. Now look man, don't slam us in the comments section because we didn't do your favorite Aesop song. Please, we could have chosen to do a dozen of songs, but we chose Rings because of the perfect balance of storytelling, vocabulary, and imagery that Aesop really took to put into the song. Now, I guess you can't exactly call it a coincidence that this song is so beautifully written and uses literal artistic comparisons about different art mediums and different art methods, right? And the premise of the song, if you break it down, it really seems to revolve around, let's say, a midlife crisis of some sort or a missed opportunity of some sort, right? Now let's break down verse 1. Verse 1 describes how he used to draw, detailing the different techniques and tools that he used, referencing how he used it as an escape during times where he may have felt like an outsider. Now, as you guys know, that's common with a lot of artists. Sometimes they feel like an outsider in their craft.
And a fusion of man-made tools and amused from beyond, even if it went beautifully wrong. It was tangible truth for a youth to refuse to belong. No name loose.
Now, verse 2 does the same, but it focuses on painting, describing different techniques, different tools. And you can tell he really loved and studied art, and he even makes mention of art school in verse 1.
3 dimensions stuffed in a 2, then it's off to a school where it's all you can do, being trained and observed by a capable few. Back in New York by peeps and adults.
But the song, on the contrary, has a sad undertone. Both verses end with words that allude to what ifs. So it tells a story that Rock started off passionately about art, but somewhere along the line, somewhere as he began to grow, somewhere along the journey, he lost steam.
Cheap brush, then a week goes by and it goes untouched. Then 2, then 3, then a month, and the rest of your life to beat yourself up. I left some.
If you really think about it, I think any artist or anyone with a skill or anyone with a passion can really relate to that brooding feeling of not living up to your full potential. It seems as though he could be referencing something deeper, right? If you really take a listen, maybe something such as love he lost, but not so much. But you can interpret it that way, really listening. So, when The Impossible Kid, the album where the song was featured, when that first dropped, Rock did what he did best. He took it to Facebook to really give a brief synopsis of each song because that's the type of artist he is. And when it came to Rings, he had this to say: Rings, this is about my failed endeavors as a visual artist and feeling some regret for slowing down on my studies in that arena. Now, that pretty much takes away the theory that the song could be talking about some kind of long lost love. But the imagery and the emotion in the song invoked, it really allows listeners to apply to their own life and scenarios like many of us do when a song is sort of loosely relatable but conveys a lot of emotion. And that's what really makes Aesop Rock so talented. In the chorus, it really talks into 2 statements, breaks down 2 statements that allude to his disappointment within himself, right?
Shakes falling out of the fringe. All heart though we would've made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. So, let's break down the lines. The line, all heart, though we could have made cowardly kings. Now, this represents the fact that he did in fact love art, but that he let fear keep him from really excelling, which makes him a coward and unfit to be king. Just like the cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz, who lived his entire life in fear, but was on a search for courage. I let my fears materialize. I let my skills deteriorate.
Now, the second line, they will chop you down just to count your rings, is rather sad. Now, when a tree is cut, you can count how many years it's been alive by counting the rings in its trunk. Now, it's cool to be able to tell a tree's age or whatnot, but the tree has to die for you to be able to do so. So with this line, Aesop Rock could be alluding to the fact that his career as a visual artist is completely dead. And though people remember the work he's made, it's not without a reminder that it's over, it's dead, and it's gone. Now look, I'll give props where they do, man. Like, not many rappers can really keep it real with themselves. Like, a lot of rappers can't do that. But Aesop Rock is different, and that's why he's on top, man, because he can really break it down for you. Now, even if you're not a former artist, you can really relate to the feeling of self-disappointment to many other aspects in life, love, and dreams. And this song certainly has a sad undertone, but the wordplay on the artist's language really makes it beautiful and poetic even. Like, very, very few rappers can take their expertise in another area and apply it to rap so effortlessly. And that is exactly why Aesop Rock is a real genius of hip-hop.
About I thought I would, I should have been continuing a mission that was rooted in a 20-year affinity and rickety condition with an ID crisis. Snap on the front lawn, look up in the sky.